and the IMF credit facility, which has actually been expanded to protect us from any exogenous shocks or any other local factors that we might not be able to mitigate. So I think the currency will remain much stable wherever it is, maybe playing within the levels of 100 to 101 for maybe Q2 and Q3 of this year.
All right, and when you look also at what exactly is happening in the industry today, one would actually say that the debt levels for Kenya are also rising. And do you think that maybe this is something the MPC meeting should touch on?
Well, I think it's important to take note of our current debt levels, particularly both local and foreign. But the good thing is all these debt levels that we are having currently are anchored against growth. We've seen quite an increased expenditure, an increased allocation towards infrastructural and developmental spending as opposed to recurrent expenditure. So I think over and above, it could be one of the factors they might look at, but I wouldn't see it coming in directly to influence the monetary policy decision. Remember, we've actually received about $600 million the other day from China. We also got some inflows from Europe the other for going towards boosting our foreign borrowing deficit from the budget. So over and above, all of this had already been budgeted for. So we aren't really reaching a position where we've surpassed whatever our onset target was.
All right, let me now take you to market performance, especially with the stocks. We've seen the Safaricom share as well, having some fluctuating results there. But what exactly do you think is going on?
I think what we're seeing on Safaricom generally is investors now trying to profit take from the results. If you try to study how it's been the last 4 to 6 weeks before results, we've seen quite an increased demand on it, particularly from foreigners who actually took positions within that period. So what we're seeing coming to the market currently, we're still seeing quite a number of investors trying to take profits from the rally that's moving from about alleys of 16 to around 17 shilling levels. So going into this week, we could continue seeing that level of profit taking, but it's also important to note that the news which has been in today's dailies with regards to the management KPMG report. So all of this will at least be priced in the market. We could see that headwind this afternoon and maybe towards tomorrow, but I wouldn't see much more of a headwind away from investors profit taking.
All right, and of course we have the Africa Tea Symposium that is coming up, I guess, between the 23rd of May and the 27th of May. What do you think about our tea prices at the moment at the auction in Mombasa?
Well, we've seen quite some level of volatility followed by stability and again volatility. So I think we are still at a level where we are being repriced. Remember, the global pressures have also come in, moving from currency all the way to even the demand for tea prices, or rather for tea. So Kenyan tea normally is one of the best quality teas globally. So once we come into the conference, we want to see that really all the nations that come together, they see how best they be able to sell themselves as one block. Remember, we've been talking for a long time now that all the African countries, or rather major trading blocks, need to come together to boost trade. So this is one of the sides which we can actually see as a best foot forward for all tea producers, particularly within the region, that they're able now to come together and push for one agenda. And once they come together as a block, be it an Pan-African block or be it an East African block, you're able now to go to the table negotiating tables much more firmly, in as much as the prices are actually factored by demand and supply, really. But the ability to come together, you're actually able to price in your product and price in your crop much better.
All right. So today, Duncan, is World Telecommunications and Information Society Day. And, a lot of focus is being placed on ICT entrepreneurship. But what do you think of the uptake in ICT products and services in Kenya?
I think Kenya is one of the countries which has really registered a high uptick when you look at sub-Saharan Africa in general. We're sitting on an area where a lot of innovation is coming place. If you look at things which are coming out of Nairobi, like the iHub, where a lot of incubation and innovation is taking place. We've seen also in terms of physical technology, a lot of benefit from the fiber cabling which has been laid around, a lot of investment from multinationals who are seeking to tap into this. So I think Kenya as a nation, we made strides in terms of trying to embrace technology and trying to embrace overall modern ways of communication. So we might be able to now step forward and now ask ourselves, can we be now the regional bedrock and the regional example for all other countries? And with the level of innovation and capacity building locally, is something which in the next few years we could start actually exporting talent. If not, maybe we have already started. So I think we are sitting in a space where we now need to also leverage on how can we use technology to better our economic growth. Can we put it into business? Can we put it into transport, for example? Can we use it in agriculture, tourism, and try and integrate all those processes to be actually able to benefit from real and practical growth from it?
All right, well, thank you so much, Duncan. We appreciate the update. Duncan Lumwamu is the Senior Investment Analyst at Cyton Investments. Thank you.